a countdown for us.
Okay. Oh, we're live, I think.
Are we live?
It says, but I don't see you streaming.
Fantastic. So, yes, I see us that we are on live. Aloha and good morning. Or I just dropped a glove, didn't I? Well, I like to start by saying, good morning, good morning. We talk the whole night through. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. Super excited. Welcome, welcome to the brand new revamped. We are relaunching Red Gloves Chat. And if you remember from previous Red Glove chats, basically what I was sharing about that is that some people put on their red gloves to go duke it out into the ring, and here we just put on our red gloves and we have a more gentle touch of approaching life and business. And the revamp that we are doing with the Red Gloves chats is that we're having conversations with entrepreneurs. And I'm excited to introduce to you our very first guest of our revamped Red Glove chat, Miss Biz Coach Claire. So, just a little bit of background on BCC, as we also call her, is that she was born and raised in Leeward, Oahu. She has lived in Windward, Oahu, so that's other side. Also lived in Kohala and Hilo on the Big Island where I am at, and now lives in Waikele. So Biz Coach Claire has been around the islands quite a bit, kind of like doing a circle 8 or number 8 sign there. So she is also a proud mom of 4 amazing children and the cutest granddaughter. Ooh, just want to punch, just those little cheeks just go, ooh, super adorable. She is working on a book, so maybe we'll get a little bit more information about that as we get our chat today. And BCC was an underdog that had to start or basically restart her life from scratch as a single mom in 2018, and then in 2020 by studying from successful online business owners and also studying about mindset. BCC earned, get this, she earned $60,000 worth in contracts just for January 2021 alone. So that's just for 1 month. So I want to say welcome to Biz Coach Claire, who is also my business coach. I'm excited to be working with you. And it looks like we do have Miss Mindy who is watching. Good morning, Mindy, and good morning, Nicole. Aloha, ladies. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to post that for us. And so, Claire, 2020 was a different year for you, just like it was for pretty much everybody around the world. Can you share with us a little bit of what happened for you in 2020 and what kind of pivot and shifting you went through?
Yes, thank you, Marianne. What a great introduction. And I'm so looking forward to this because of your not only your skill set, your knowledge, your background, your intuition, but also like your heart. And I know it's going to be an awesome conversation. So I'm so honored to be here with you and looking forward to our conversation. But yes, 2020 was a difficult year for me. It was it started off bad. I got a notification that I was going to be laid off from work. I was a single mom. As you mentioned, I have 4 kids, though they're adults, and my older ones, or not all adults, but the 2 older ones were adults at the time. And, just hearing news that you're going to be laid off, it was good and bad at the same time. And so to be honest, I was a bit scared and nervous. I wasn't sure what I was going to do. And I thought I was going to look for another job in accounting. And at the same time, I just felt this in my core of who I am, in my stomach, that that's not where I was supposed to head, and that I was supposed to do something different in my life. So yes, I was at a very rough point in my life, and that was in January. So by the end of January, I had been out of a job and had to restart and figure things out because I wasn't really clear of what I was going to do. Um, and then the pandemic hit, and so yeah, and
That
so
changed lives for everybody.
yes, that definitely did. And I immediately, when I knew that we were going to be in lockdown, I knew it was in the core of me. I just knew that it was our defining moment. And it was definitely my defining moment. Was I going to fly, or was I going to basically fry? Just was I going to succeed, or was I going to just throw a pity party for myself, which in the past I have thrown been good at throwing parties, and pity parties included. And so I wanted it to be a different type of defining moment for me. And so, as you mentioned, I went and I sought, knowledge from others that were doing it and were succeeding, and I worked on myself.
Mm, that is fantastic. So, working on yourself, that's a lot of personal development, which I know is something that is huge. Oh, we have a visitor. This is Hendrix. This is what happens when you work from home, right? You have company. Sometimes it's fur babies and sometimes it's kiddos.
Yeah.
So, talking about personal development, you help a lot of women through personal development, both in business and also in personal life, because it's actually interconnected.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I know you've been doing is your book club. So, what is a book that you're reading about right now that you would highly recommend people to read, and why?
Oh, great question. Okay, so in fact, I have it right here. It's called The Science of Getting Rich. And this is what my book study is based on. And this actually had transformed my life, to be honest. It shifted my mindset. And I actually read 4 chapters from this book every day. Yesterday was the 90th day. Actually, if there's a 90-day challenge, and we read chapters 4, 7, 11, and 14, and it's basically the results formula that I teach also. Um, this is an old book. It's written in the early 1900s. And so some of the wording is, a little dated to say the least. But the nuggets that you can find in this book is amazing. And though I've read it for over 90 days, I still learn from it. And it keeps me focused on my vision. It keeps me on track. And like I said, it changed my life because my mindset really shifted towards money reading this book. And other people that have taken the 90-day challenge, their income has doubled. Mine's more than doubled, because if you go from zero or 15,000 in a month closing to 60,000, yeah, it really shifts your mind.
That is fantastic. So, Nicole made a comment of, wow, jumping around in the book. And I was thinking the same thing because you mentioned reading specific chapters. So, is there some reasoning behind skipping chapters and
I
reading those specifically?
Yes, I love that you asked that question. So, chapter 4 talks about thoughts, and thoughts is the first uh, part of that success principle or results formula. And so, our thoughts control. I mean, if we fully understood how powerful our thoughts were, we would not want to doubt ourselves. We would not doubt or even put any negative thoughts in our minds, because our thoughts are so powerful. So that's the first chapter that we read. It's about thoughts. Chapter 7 is about gratitude. Gratitude
Mm.
ties in a lot, and this is what I teach in my program, as you know, in the Queen Bees program. Gratitude is so powerful. And this, as I said, is an ancient old book, and yet this is a universal principle. Gratitude uh, is just an important part of wealth building and results and getting results. The next chapter that I read, chapter 11, is about basically is about action. We can have all the faith we want. We can have all the thoughts and positive thoughts, like I am going to be wealthy. But if we don't put forth the action, it's not going to work. So that's the other chapter that we read every day. And in that chapter, it talks about doing it now, not waiting for tomorrow, not doing things that, not thinking about, worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow. Because if we spend our energy on worrying about what could possibly happen, we're not going to take the action that we need to do now. And
Mm.
it says to have that confidence that when that emergency happens, you are able to make those decisions if and when it happens. And so not to put our energy on worrying. So talks about that in the chapter 11. And then chapter 14 is basically, I love this chapter. This is probably sums up BCC and who I've become. It's called The Impression of Increase. And
Mm.
basically, the last sentence of that chapter says, it's a quote from, I don't even know him, Jones of Toledo. It's his golden rule. What I want for myself, I want for everybody. And that basically sums up BCC, and why I do what I do is because I've discovered, and it's been in plain sight all these years, and right in front of me, I have had a bookshelf of amazing books right in front of me. But, but I've discovered these treasures and applied it in my life, and I wish everyone success, because it's available for everyone. I wish that everyone would experience this increase, and I didn't believe it a year ago that I really could have a life that I love. But today I am so grateful and thankful that I love my life and that I've created a life that I love.
That's wonderful. So it sounds like I don't have that book yet. I need to get it. And this is my current reading queue. So I need to get that book and put it at the top of the queue.
Yeah. Yes, for sure. I'll send you one. I'll put it in your
Oh,
box. I have a box of goodies that I'm going to send to you. So,
oh, fabulous. Thank you. I appreciate that.
yes.
Wow. Yes, I do love reading, and that is something that I had to learn how to love reading. For the longest time, reading was definitely not a passion. And someone turned me on to a specific series of books as a child, and that's when I got my passion for reading. And through time, then it kind of went away because I was always too busy to sit down and read. But now it's become that habit again of, on a daily basis, read to feed your mind.
Yes.
What you read is important, just like you were
I'm,
saying with your thoughts.
yeah.
That
I'm
is
so
for
glad you brought
sure.
that up, because I hated reading. I it's not that I struggled with it. I didn't have the discipline. Like in high school, when we were assigned to read things for English class, honestly, I read the cliff notes. I got the summary because I didn't really have and I can't say I don't have the time, and that's another mindset issue, is our mindset with time and our how we value time. But it's not that I didn't have the time, because we all have the same 24 hours in a day, but it was that my attitude towards reading was like, it's not a priority, even if it was for my homework. So I absolutely get you. I hated reading, and my mom says not to use that word hate because it's so strong, but that's how much I did not like reading. However, what I learned was, if I want to be successful, if I want to change my family tree, if I want to really create the life that I love, I need to find key books that I would want to and love to read. And it talks about in this book the power of our willpower. And that is one thing that if we
Mm.
can master our willpower, and so sitting down and reading, just focusing and having that willpower to say, hey, I'm going to take out 20 minutes. It only takes me 20 minutes to read those 4 chapters every day.
Oh,
I'm going
wow.
to, yeah, I'm going to sit down and set aside 20 minutes that this 20 minutes of feeding my mind will transform my life and change my life. It is well worth the investment. It's just a fraction of my day and well worth it.
Wow. Yeah, that was key there of setting the time aside. What I have discovered for myself is that I need to set that time aside in the morning, to where it's part of my morning routine, where I do my gratitude and my I am statements, and the planning out of my day, basically setting the pace for the day, and to do my reading in the morning. Because if I wait until afternoon or evening and I pick up a book, then I just start to doze off, actually. And it's not that I don't want to read, it's just my eyes, my whole body just goes into that dozing mode. It's like, so first thing in the morning is when I find
Yeah.
it to be best for me.
Yeah. That was me. I'm guilty of that. I'd wait till the end of the day, and that's why I didn't complete my 90 days yet and I had to restart, is because I would wait till the end of the day, and before I know it, I'm dozing off or some distraction happens. So what I also noticed though is that when I do the readings in the beginning of the day, it's amazing, but the day ends up being so and I don't want to use that word like magical, but I can't think of a better word to describe it. It's like magical. Things just come into alignment, ideas flow, and the right people at the right time. Everything just happens in like it was meant to be, perfectly meant to be, like fitting that red glove on your hands just perfectly. That's how the day ends up being if I put my reading first. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, that electrifies the start of your day and gets you going.
Yes. Such
Yeah.
a good
So
thing.
one of the things that you mentioned also is your Queen Bee program. So how did that come about for you? How did you get started and had that idea for that program?
Oh, good question. Wow. So, yes, in March 2020, during quarantine, on that last week of March, I said, you know what, this is our defining moment. And I started interviewing business owners, just like what you're doing now. I started it, but I didn't go live. I wasn't brave enough. I was already scared just to do it on Zoom and invite people to
Mm,
watch. And so every week, every Wednesday, I would do a Wednesday webinar with business owners. And that's how I started. And it was mainly for me to interview and learn from others, and at the same time, create a platform for them. And so others could watch and learn as well. And during that time, I really felt in my heart that I was meant to create what I call familionaires, female millionaires. And,
mm,
I honestly, I just sat there thinking, I'm not worthy. I can't do it. I am not a millionaire. At that point, I didn't have any hopes or think I could be. I just thought I was incapable.
mm,
But I just knew in the very core of me that I was going to work with women and make a difference in their lives and take it baby steps. And so by May, I launched the program Queen Bees, and it was with 5 women that owns a business. And I basically created that program as a 90-day transformation program, 12 weeks. And it was all the things that I had learned. And I had taken the best pieces that I've learned throughout my time and during my, what has transformed my life at that point. And I took the best pieces and created this program. And it was the success principles of gratitude every day, self-discovery, working deep on ourself, overcoming those blocks, the things that hold us back, and really putting forth in action, having accountability partners, having holding people accountable to one another and to our vision. And yeah, that's how I started the program. And lo and behold, the success formula works, and in 90 days your lives can be changed. So it's basically a quick sprint that, if you put into practice the key elements of success, that you'll see results in 90 days.
Exactly. And you do have some queen bees that are graduating this coming Friday. Woohoo!
And you're one of them. You're the first speaker up. So, yes, come watch Marianne. She's going to be amazing along with the other seven ladies. So, eight total. Yes.
Yes, it is exciting. So, as an entrepreneur, how has this shift for you made a positive impact in your life besides the financial aspect?
Oh, man, Marianne, this is huge. This has changed my life, has changed my family's life, has changed my family tree. I grew up when I was in my early 20s and I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I grew up with parents and I loved them dearly. They just knew what they knew. They wanted me to go the safe route. They wanted me to get a good job at this government. They have both state jobs, as I mentioned. They retired from the state and they thought, that's the safe route, Claire, do that. And so I was a rebel and decided not that I didn't want to do that. And so looking back now, I am so glad and I encourage others to be entrepreneurs because although it's scary, it worked on myself. It helped me develop my thoughts, really refined my thoughts, my attitude, and my actions because I took responsibility for my life. I had to take responsibility for the decisions I made, the action steps that I took in a day because I couldn't blame my boss or I couldn't blame the company I worked for or whatever it was for my current situation. And I guess that's the risky part, of being an entrepreneur is you're taking on that responsibility of where your life is going to be. You're in the driver's seat, like for real, So, uh, yeah, getting back to how it's changed me. My son just told me last week that he was inspired by me, and that's the
Mm,
best and most rewarding thing you can leave for your kids, and that's been my intention from the beginning, is
yeah.
to live a life that I leave legacy and not it's not like you said, it's not a financial legacy. It's that inspiration that to my kids that they can dream, they can have a vision, they can do what mom's done. They can have an attitude of gratitude and really lean in and see that mom did it and they saw me at my bottom. They saw me have that pity party. They saw me go through struggles where I didn't have not even $20 to my name and I couldn't buy my daughter a birthday cake. So they've seen the struggle that I've gone through and they've seen the change. And so that's how it's changed my life. And it's beyond money, it's beyond wealth, it's the impact that we can leave on our kids and other people's lives, in the lives of the future generations.
Wow. Yeah. And I see hearts coming across the screen, and I agree. Hearts, hearts, hearts for sure. So I do have two more questions for you. Do you have time for two more
Yes,
questions?
definitely.
So the first one is, as an entrepreneur, what is a challenge that you have come across that you did not expect? And how did you overcome that challenge?
Oh, I love it. That's a great question.
Tough
So
one, big one, I know.
there's a lot of challenges. Challenges are good. Challenges, at first I was afraid of challenges, but challenges are good, and we're going to come across all sorts of challenges you wouldn't even believe. Like when I first started my journey, I wouldn't have believed all the. And I'm so sorry if there's noise in the background. I have a repairman here, but yes, so there's going to be a lot of challenges. And what I've come to learn, though, is challenges are just opportunities for us to grow and become stronger, become better, and become more knowledgeable in whatever the challenge is. Because had those challenges not come up, I wouldn't have grown. I wouldn't have become the person that I am today.
Mm.
And because of those challenges, I can help others navigate those challenges as well. So I'm sorry that's so vague, but there's so many things that come up on a regular basis. Uh, you just wouldn't believe, but it's helping me to grow, helping me to become a stronger leader, a stronger communicator, and whatever challenges I face any given day, I know that There's going to be an opportunity for growth, and I'm going to learn from it, and I'm going to become a better person by it. And if we have that attitude whenever there is a challenge, you're just going to just flourish as an entrepreneur.
That's so true. Yes, challenges help us to think outside of the box. Yeah, especially as an entrepreneur, when we have that mindset of
Yes.
changes and shifting and pivoting, we have to think outside of the box.
Yes, and you know what? I've come to learn, and I strongly believe that there's always a solution. There's always a solution. So, if we have that closed mind, it's hard to find that solution. But if I learned this from another book that I read. We can have a what's called a 5 minute break. We can, you know, when stuff happens, we can throw a 5 minute tantrum and feel sorry for ourselves, but that's it. That's all you're allowed. Like after that, look for solutions, and there will be so many other solutions. And yes, like you said, outside of the box thinking. So yes, uh, I only allow 5 minute like pity parties now. In fact, less than that, because there's definitely a solution if we focus on the negative or the challenge. We're not going to find that solution. So our energy goes where we focus on. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's I was actually I was having a challenge yesterday to where I was banging my head trying to find a solution. And I said, you know what? There will be a solution. Take a little break from that, focus on other things. And then the answer came to me of the how to, what I need to do during the night. And then I was at my journaling this morning. Then I wrote down what I need to get done. So, yeah, there is always a way, and things do come to you. And sometimes you just need to take that little break from that one aspect
Yes.
without giving up on it.
I'm
Yeah.
so glad you mentioned that. So yes, you're absolutely right. It's amazing because my ideas are I flow when I'm take a walk around my neighborhood, or
Mm.
even when I'm in the shower. It's just like boom, all these answers come to me in the shower. So, and I've been studying about our subconscious mind and our thinking, and it's because as we relax, like our brains are so amazing. It already knows the answer. We just got to relax, chill, take, like you said, take a break from it, and boom, the solutions come.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And so, that one more question that I have for you today is, some of the people that are going to be either on the live right now or that will be catching the replay are either entrepreneurs themselves or looking to be an entrepreneur. So, for someone who's starting in business, what would be one tip that you would like to share with them to help them on that journey?
Wow, one tip. Yes, take that leap, believe in yourself. The journey, you know where you're going to end up. You holds on to that vision that you envision yourself as an entrepreneur. Hold on to that. And, like the journey has been different from what I thought it would be for me, and yet it's beautiful. So you just got to flow like water, as my friend Bruce Lee says, flow like water, my friend. So yes, flow like water. Don't be so close to this is not the option. And what I tell people is massive imperfect action. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just start taking that action. Massive imperfect action.
I love it. I love it. So, if people would like to get a hold of you, let's see. I know I have it somewhere. Here we go. For folks that would like to get a hold of Biz Coach Claire, it's very easy. Just go to bizcoachclaire.com. She is a wonderful coach, and I'm excited to be graduating from the Queen Bee program. It was one of those things that I decided to join because during the year 2020, there was shift happening in my life. And even though I knew that I had the answers within me, sometimes it takes having someone on the outside to help you see what is inside. And so I was excited to join the Queen Bee program and graduating this coming Friday. So, ladies, bizcoachclaire.com. Go ahead and check it out. And if you have any questions for Biz Coach Claire, you can connect with her right there. And next week, we will be speaking with a queen bee from the Queen Bee program. She is formerly from the education system of working in education and quit her job during COVID times to become an entrepreneur. So looking forward to introduce her next week. And I want to say thank you so much, Claire, for joining on today for the very first of the relaunch of Red Glove Chat. So thank you so much. And everyone, have a fabulous day. Until next time, aloha.